After Batman equipped his Thrasher suit to take down a group of Talons, the Talons immediately swarmed him with everything they had as the Batcave's temperature got closer and closer to sub-zero. Despite their relentless efforts though, for a brief period of time, Bruce was seemingly unstoppable, smashing one of them into the ground, electrocuting another with some sort of mini shock dart, and then slowing down a handful with frostbite batarangs. But because the cave's temperature just wouldn't drop fast enough, they were able to outlast his frenzy and eventually regain the upper hand by flooding him with various attacks and then throwing him off of one of the Batcave's upper levels. At this point, Alfred began panicking because Bruce's vitals were so low that he couldn't fight back as the owls continued tearing through his armor. But refusing to give them the satisfaction of taking his life, Bruce recited a trigger phrase, activating the Batcave's massive T-Rex to start crushing the Talons onto the ground. Unfortunately, this sort of Hail Mary only slowed them down temporarily, and soon enough, one of them was back on top of him, jamming their knife directly into his faceplate. Certain that his son's death was just moments away, Alfred told Bruce he was coming out to help him, but Bruce refused to let him do so, securing the armory doors and locking him inside. However, as the Talons grew closer and closer to dismantling his armor, the cave finally hit sub-zero temperatures, and it was so unbearable that every single bat came flying out of its crevice, swarming the Talons left and right, and allowing Bruce to put their madness to a permanent stop. Once the Talons were finished, Alfred put their bodies in a cold storage so the Electrum couldn't reactivate them, and Bruce hit the chaotic streets of Gotham City to check on individuals who the owls were targeting. Unfortunately, by the time he got to Lincoln March, the owl's work was already finished. He wasn't dead just yet, but at the pace he was losing blood from his stab wound, there was practically no way of saving him. Before taking his last breath though, he handed Bruce a note, and what was likely the most important piece of information in this entire case, because the note contained various addresses and the names of 3 people who he suspected to be a part of the court after following a money trail. And one of these names was Maria Powers, who lived in the most expensive private residence in Gotham City, a residence that never saw a visitor who wasn't invited. But all that was about to change later that night, because upon walking inside, Maria found that the entire place was torn to shreds. Puzzled and panicked, she immediately tried fleeing through the elevator and calling for security, but to her misfortune, the only thing she was greeted with was the Dark Knight himself. But sadly, that's when this issue comes to an end, but if you want to see what happens next, let me know in the comments down below.